Okay, hi, welcome to iJoggy again. And in this particular video, I'm going to evaluate the performance of one of my students, one of my current students. He is from Canada. His name is German Dhillon. So I'm going to evaluate the third part of his speaking test, and I'll tell you why he deserves 7 for that part. Of course, the scoring otherwise is sweeping. You will get the score for the overall performance, but let's take a minute part of that speaking test and then assign a band score to that as per the band descriptors. And in the second part of this video, after my spiel, you will get to listen to the speaking test, the third part, and then you will see the analysis as in he deserves this good band score of band 7 for that part only. I'll explain the thing using the official band descriptors. So I'll not talk, as I do always, I'll not talk without any proof. So stay tuned. Do you think it is necessary that we help people?
Yes, I think so because it's a human nature. Uh, like uh, uh, it as a human being, if we have to live in a society, so we have to extend helping hands for everyone, that especially needy person. So without if we will help with someone, one day someone will help us when we will
Okay.
be in trouble. So I think so.
And do you think help begets help?
Help.
Sorry.
Sorry, sorry, say
Do
again.
you okay? Um, do you think help begets help? As in, when you help someone, is it true that you
Mhm.
will receive help also? Always.
Mm, yes, I'm agree with this point because whenever and these are one code that do good be good. If we will good with the someone, for sure I'm damn sure that the we will receive that in return. And here I would like to give an example. A few days ago, like I as I told earlier, I gave me a MacBook to my younger brother, and after a few days, I broke my phone and I had a dire
Okay.
need.
Fine.
Uh,
Do you agree with the idea that people in the past were more helpful?
uh, I I don't think so. Even the people in nowadays, they are more helpful too because I here just I would like to say there are few charities and the few organization that is always ready to help for someone, especially for the needy people. And even the nowadays people are giving the charities with the help of our social media apps, and that there's some uh, by fundraising.
Oh,
So past.
fine.
Okay.
Why do you think saints are more helpful than businessmen?
uh, Here I would like to say like the saint devoted their life for to serve the others, and they don't have a propaganda to get a particular to become a millionaire or a trillion. Like their aim, they just born with the aim uh, to serve for others. So I think so. But if I will talk about a businessman, they always think about the money, like how they can expand their business, what the new steps
Okay.
can be.
So do you think businessmen are completely material?
Yes, I think so uh, because as they always talk about materialistic things. So I don't think so because they're the only 1 or 2% businessmen that indulge themselves in the charity activity or in the social activities. So I have had experience because I used to work as a social worker back in India. So mostly on that time, saints always
Fine.
come first.
Okay. Let's get to the first criterion, which is a combination of two, fluency and coherence. They would test your ability to speak at length and that too logically, as in fluency at length and coherence is about logic. And German, I think, is very good at that. As in German, he's been able to answer every question that was asked to him, and he developed his topics wonderfully. Just that because of his language importance at certain points. His coherence was taking a hit, and I was not able to understand him properly. But still, he was able to, as in, extend his ideas to a very good length. As in, I stopped him, I think, most times, and otherwise, he was like, you know, he was relentless in his speech, and he was able to, develop topics like, with Elo. So um, but of course, he will not get a band 9 for sure, because he was not able to display that level of coherence where he's so effortless that I didn't have to, um, you know, hammer my brain to understand what he was saying. He was, his language has certain issues which are going to be discussed in the subsequent criteria. And that is why his coherence took a hit at certain junctions. But otherwise, he deserves a band 8 for this one. Why? See, speaks fluently with only occasional repetition or self-correction. Hesitation is usually content-related and only rarely to search for language. Develops topics coherently and appropriately. So he actually showed these features. His hesitation, I think he didn't hesitate at all in his speaking, and he was, as I said, he was relentless. He was like flowing like a river. Why not 9? That I also have told you, as in, if you see the third bullet point in 9, speaks coherently with fully appropriate cohesive features. So that thing, as in that coherence, where he was not, his grammar is, I think, is, his grammar is his weakest part. So because of that, his coherence was actually not maybe on the peak, but his fluency was actually something to go bananas over. And also, if you see this band 9 bullet point 1, speaks fluently with only rare repetition or self-correction. So I think there were some times where he self-corrected, as in, okay, I don't know if it's a right term or not, where he corrected himself. But as in, otherwise, kudos. And he will not get a band 7 also, as in, as far as my knowledge is. I can be wrong, I'm not an official IDP examiner, but whatever is the knowledge, here, I can share it with you. um, Speaks at length without noticeable effort or loss of coherence, may demonstrate language related hesitation at times. That was not the case. He was not struggling with the language. He was able to get out words, however wrong at certain points, but that's all. But I think that's okay. And or some repetition or self correction. So, you know, as in, there was no hesitation regarding the language, just that the language had some errors. And he was actually at an 8, so more power to him. Let's get to the second criterion. So lexical resource is vocabulary, in a fancy term, and for that I would give him a 7. So if you heard, he was speaking some less common terms like propaganda, as in indulge, as in, let's hear him out a bit.
We help people. And these are one code that would be good if we will with someone. First, I'm going to demonstrate the fundraising. So, part of propaganda to get a particular to become a like how they can expand their business. What are the new steps?
Yeah, I remember, as in extend your hands or something. So he was able to display a range of vocabulary and with some less common terms. Just that at certain points I felt that the usage was wrong, as in, they don't indulge themselves with charity or something, or whatever he said. I think involved would have been the right term. And but still, there was a display of vocabulary with some errors, so he will not get a 6. Let's see, 6 has a wide enough vocabulary to discuss topics at length and make meaning clear in spite of inappropriacies. Generally paraphrases successfully. He deserves a 7. C point 2 uses some less common and idiomatic vocabulary. Extend your hands, idiomatic vocabulary. and shows some awareness of style and collocation with some inappropriate choices. Has some errors, as in he has some inappropriate choices, but that doesn't mean that he was not able to even display his lexical resource. He will not get a band 8 at all. He doesn't use a wide range of vocabulary resource readily and flexibly to convey precise meaning, uses less common and idiomatic vocabulary skillfully. It was not very skillful. It was there with some errors, with occasional inaccuracies, and paraphrase he did at certain points, but I think it's fine. It was fine. Grammar, as I said, is his weakest part. He, I don't think, as in there was, okay, I think a large portion of his sentences was erroneous, um, especially articles, as in, let's hear him out a bit. So do you think businessmen are completely material?
Yes, I think so because as they always talk about some different things. So I don't think so because they are only 1 or 2% businessmen that indulge themselves in the charity activity or in the social activity fundraising. So past time today.
Why do you think saints are more helpful than businessmen?
Uh, Here I would like to say like the same devoted their life for the
So yeah, as in one error here, as in if you heard this.
Their life for the here I would like to say like the same devoted their life.
Yeah. So as in he is not able to maintain the balance between the past and the present, as in the saint devoted. He's talking about something in the present, he's using the past tense. He's not able to use if conditionals well. If he will, it should have been if he does or something, whatever the case was. So I think 80% of his sentences, you know, have an error, or they are not perfectly error free. So, but the good thing is that his errors are not major. Despite the errors, you are able to understand the thing, and that is a feature of band 6. If you read band 6, may make frequent mistakes with complex structures, though these rarely cause comprehension problems. So it was not that because of the average grammar, I was not able to understand what he was saying. I was able to fathom, as in whatever was presented to me. Just that as a teacher, I was able to spot the errors also. So a 6, he will not get a band 5 for sure. 5 says these usually contain errors and may cause some comprehension problems. Not at all the case. He will not get a band 7 too. Frequently produces error-free sentences. Not at all the case. So somewhere in the middle, 6. Pronunciation. First of all, I think there is a little effect of uh, L1. His Punjabi actually gets into the way of his English, but not in a huge way at certain points. And then he's not able to pronounce words correctly at certain junctures. For instance, Matarastra, as in if you hear this out.
Yes, I think
So if you heard material list of things, or as in certain things had like, I was not able to comprehend they think or themselves. His speech is not always clear, and there are some shades of Punjabi in his English also. So that does bother the listener, but not to a very large extent. So I would say pronunciation is moderately good, not at all at not at all at an 8 for sure, is easy to understand throughout, not at all. But not even a 6 either, as in, if you see bullet point 3, can generally be understood throughout, though mispronunciation of individual words or sounds reduces clarity at times. I was able to fathom what he was saying, just that I could notice that he has not pronounced the word appropriately also. So it was again an equilibrium of errors and potential. So that's why it happened that I could not give him a 6 also. And his control is not mixed, as in a band 6, as in uses a range of pronunciation features with mixed control, not a mixed control, a moderately good control. If he is able to pronounce his words, more appropriately with the, he could work on his speed, I would say, as in if he spoke, I would say a little, slowly, would be able to display his pronunciation in a better way. He could become a more, I would say, eloquent speaker. People would be able to understand him better. He could actually be able to display his language in a clearer way, and then the pronunciation can get to an 8 also. But for now, it's at a 7, and so 8, 7, 6, 7, and overall of 7. So well done, German.